Andy, welcome back to Raith TV. As part of our regular kind of process of keeping up to date with the club, we get together, we break bread, we have a conversation. But today there's something bigger at play. There's the announcements being made with regards to Club 1883. I sense the excitement that's around. I am feeding off the energy in terms of the early uptake. Let's set the scene and let's hear direct from yourself as the CEO of the club in terms of what is Club 1883. Talk us through the parameters.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've been really excited about. It's something there's been a lot of work done on it, and particularly by Rory Kilgour. He's been his baby for a long time, so he's been stressing about it, but also he's been enjoying the process to get it to where it is today. It was something we wanted to bring in as soon as we came into the club, but we thought we would wait and pick the right time, make sure it was set up properly, and we'd done enough sort of analysis on what it might look like or the best possible version we could make it. So we're thankful now at that point, and hence the launch in the last few days. What is it? It's an opportunity, a commitment to stand alongside us and help build something that we can all be really proud of. It's not a plea for funds to operate the business. It really is about building something for the future. Every penny contributed will go into the growth strategy of the club. So as we've touched on in the launch, the football operations and stadium development, things that fans actually tangibly can see, touch and feel. It's that's what you'll be contributing. It's a call to arms. It's an ask to come and stand alongside us and help us. We as new owners are committed to building this club, and we want people to stand alongside us and help us achieve that.
And pull together some questions. In some respects, it's quite an easy ask because there's really there's questions that jump off the page that must be asked, and there's other bits where you kind of drill into some of the details. So let's start with some of the really obvious ones for people who might not have seen the press launch, who might not have got the email, might have got a new phone and they've not had a chance to catch up with the website, etc. Where does the money go? What's the incentive?
Yeah, so the money, as I say, is two critical sort of areas of the football club. It's football operations and it's stadium development. I think we've mentioned in previous interviews that the stadium, is and continues to cost us money. An example of that is the recent game now against Dundee United. We all were thrilled to see an attendance of 6,808 people. But there was probably the seats that were damaged or not being able to sit on could have cost us £8,000. That's the harsh reality of it. So things like that will come under that stadium development. We're committed to driving the standards in terms of what people are watching out in the pitch. And also what they are experiencing when they come to Starts Park on a match day and out with match days.
Is there any dimension of the Club 1883 that's looking towards the future with youth recruitment alongside kind of first team operations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously football operations, it's sort of all encompassing. It's very broad. We want to create an environment. We've been very forthright on that, and much of the early work was about creating an elite environment from players. I think we're seeing the benefit from that on the pitch. I know it's helped in recruitment. We want to develop people at this club, and players are no different. Whether they're young, old, it doesn't matter. We want to bring players into this club and make them better. So, of course, there'll be a proportion of the money there, and there'll be clarity throughout. There'll be communication to the contributors to let them know exactly where every penny they put in is going.
One of the questions I had through reading the initial documents that came along was with regards to the supporters fund. You've got ahead of me in the curve today because you sent an email as I was driving down here kind of explaining some of that. So let's get on camera how these two things can be complementary and how they can work together.
Yeah, so the supporters fund, I would like to say, at its peak was very successful. I think there was something like 320 contributors. It was a substantial amount of money coming in every month. Unfortunately, that had dropped to 180 as of May when we come in. But it showed it worked. It showed there was an appetite and there was a desire for people to get behind the club and help in any way they can. The supporters fund is still there. It will still run alongside. We if people want to continue to contribute to that, if they want to, the difference with this one is it's a set subscription, so it is a set amount, monthly amount, whereas the supporters fund was a standing order. It was you dictated what you wanted to contribute, so that will still remain. Everything will still remain in terms of the split from where that money goes. There'll still be the quarterly draws. Everything that was there previously still stays there. We've had people already sort of question and ask that they wanted to contribute more than £20 a month, so there is still the option to do that. You can still sign up for Club 1883 and get the benefits that come with that, but you can also still run alongside the supporters fund, and nothing changes from that perspective. Why did we do it the way we've done? I think it was important we were able to build it into the platform fan base in terms of our ticketing. That's important twofold for us. One, makes it an easy process for the supporters, but it's also really important to us in terms of data collection, in terms of ticketing, and also on our new website, and particularly around e-commerce. It's going to be a game changer for us. I feel like I'm continuing to talk about it every week, but when it comes, people will probably realise why I do continue to talk about it. It is going to be a game changer for us, and there's lots of great work, and we're edging closer to that date where that becomes a reality. So that's really the reason why we did a lot of analysis, in-depth analysis at the current supporters fund. We spread the net wider. We looked at other clubs, not just football clubs, in terms of what they do in similar schemes, and we spent a lot of time to make sure and to get it right. And we hopefully that people can see the value in it and they can get behind what it stands for.
Certainly sounds it, and the two funds running in parallel can be complementary. It's the kind of best of both worlds in terms of people who can offer a wee bit more financially, but maybe people who are maybe not as skillful with technology, etc., transferring over new funds, and you might have had a bit of drift of people getting a wee bit caught up. So it's interesting that they're going to complement. You touched on something that I've wondered about, is what did the design process look like for Club 1883? Was there consultation? Did you reach out, visit other clubs? I think you just mentioned a wee bit there. What's inbuilt with this particular process that gives us the kind of sense of energy that I've picked up on today?
Yeah, I mean, all the things you touched on, yeah, we spoke to other clubs. We did look at other clubs and what the benefits they bring, how they set it up, how they take subscriptions, everything. Basically, that's why it's taken so long from May to today to get that right. So there was a lot of work spent, as I say again, particularly by Rory, who's done some excellent work to make sure it is, again, that helps when he is a fan and he understands. He's been a contributor before and he understands. We felt that it needed reinvented. We, again, not downplaying the supporters fund, that was very successful, but we felt there maybe had been a bit of transparency, a bit of communication that had been lost there in the past, and we wanted to bring that back to life. We wanted to open up that clear communication. People join these things because they feel like they want to make a difference, obviously out on the pitch, but it's important that they know what that difference is, and this will do that, and we are committed. It's a promise from us that will continue to happen, and there will be a clear communication, and it'll be quite fun, I would say, for people to get information that perhaps they wouldn't be able to get elsewhere, and in the kind of normal media outlets of sort of a football club.
You touched on something really important with your first answer, I think, where you said that maybe the more seasoned supporters out there will be thinking, we've seen this type of game before across Scottish, indeed world football. A call to arms leaves them pondering about financial insecurity, instability. But the first thing you said is that's not the prime motivation. This is about being transparent in terms of extra income coming in and it being touchable, tactile, tangible. Tell me a wee bit about how we get these people on board.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it's about the growth strategy. It's not about the operation as a business. It's not about the daily or the monthly incomings and outgoings. It's about building something. It's about, as I say, sounds a bit cheesy, but standing beside us and really helping us to go and achieve what we want to achieve. And, it's great. I think everyone's enjoyed seeing the difference that's been made so far in terms of the environment, but let's take that up a notch. Let's continue to drive standards. When we come in here, we had a mission to really kick the standards on the Raith Rovers Football Club, both internally and externally. I think we've made a good start to that, but we've still got a long way to go, and we want to continue to do that. this fund will no doubt play a huge part in the success of that development. And as I say, it is a direct, every penny is directly going towards the growth strategy of this football club.
Interestingly, there are specific plans for almost on a kind of local, national and international basis. I mean, what that showed to me is that there's this recognition of the fact that Raith Rovers supporters are worldwide, and you make sure that you're kind of covering and seem to be inclusive of all supporters. Tell us a wee bit about that strategy.
Yeah, again, it was part of that analysis that we did. You know, we didn't just sort of look at the what's under your nose type thing. We cast the net wide, and we were getting a lot of people just through general conversations or maybe talking on another topic that wanted, that maybe can't come here and give us their season ticket money. And by the way, some still do, even though they know they're never going to make a game every season. So it's fantastic. But there was definitely a want for people to be able to contribute through some other vehicle, and this, we hope, provides it. That's why it's sort of structured differently. There's different benefits, different experiences that come with it, and we hope that we've captured sort of all-encompassing so that everyone feels that they belong.
Tell us a wee bit about the benefits. I've kind of read through the various packages. You know, obviously just living up the road, I can see what would grab my family's attention. By Raith TV, you know, we've got such an interface with people internationally, and seeing that kind of further bridge out there, making better use of what we've already got in place is quite exciting. We're looking forward to being part of that. Tell us about the benefits. Yeah,
I mean, again, it's all very well sitting here and saying, you know, get behind something, get behind a quest, you know, join the army, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I think in this day and age, people want more bang for their buck. They want to actually have tangible benefits from these types of memberships. So I think we've given we spent a lot of time researching it. We want to make it worthwhile. We think that people will enjoy the benefits, you know, both from a sort of monetary value and also from just the experience and the things you probably can't touch. Things like programmes and match programmes that people aren't getting to games, they still want to buy the match programme even though they're not coming to the game. We've had that sort of brought up in the last few weeks and months, you know, so that there is the option for that. There's the match day posters, everything that people maybe can't experience around about attending here on a match day, they can still get access to that from this membership.
And you're up for the 2 a.m. question and answer session for the people in Australia, are you?
Yes, if that's what needs to be, then I've set the alarm.
What does success look like for this project? What are, you know, you'll have the statistical analysis sitting on your desk, but just so we can kind of work from that, what are the figures that we're hoping for?
Yeah, so I mean, early uptake has been excellent. You can see online, everyone sort of reads social media now. It's how people consume, so you can see it for themselves. But in terms of the numbers, you know, we're last check just before coming on camera, we're sitting at 105 contributors, which is remarkable given that it's not even 24 hours yet. A great fact as well is there's 85% of people who are contributing £20 or more. In the old supporters fund, it was actually only 34% were contributing £20 or more. So it shows you that people are getting behind and really seeing the value on the offering that's been put forward.
How do people commit? How do they reach out if they've got questions? You know, we try to be as wide-ranging in our interviews, but there's always some question that falls through the gaps. How do we link there?
Yeah, we've tried to be reactive in terms of the questions that have come in early on. There's an email went out this morning to the supporters fund contributors, just answering questions that's sort of been fielded to us. There's the usual, we'll always be responsive to the usual modes in terms of, you know, here at the office, phone, coming up in person, social media, everything like that. There's plenty of information out there. We'll continue to share that information. But, you know, if there is anything that pops up and anyone does have a question, then please feel free to get in touch and we'll answer that as best we can.
You've set the tone, you've explained the parameters, you've answered the questions. Finish up by giving us this call to arms.
Yeah, well, I'm going to sort of set a target. We want to try and hit 350 contributors. It may be a bit ambitious, but I think given that at its peak the supporters fund was at 320, I don't think that it's unrealistic that we can do it. So we're actually going to put our heads above the parapet and put a figure on it and say, come on, get behind us. Come with us on this journey as we keep asking on a daily basis, and we won't shy away from that. We'll continue to keep asking. This is another vehicle to come and play your part and join that army, if you like. So that's our target, 350. Let's see where we can get to.
if it's any reassurance, there's two of us here taking part in the interview and we've both reinstated our contributions this morning. So we would get behind you and say, let's go on the journey.
Excellent. That's good enough for me.